1, 2, 3, 4 test. Good evening everyone, and welcome to the Amateur TV Net, which is held every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. through VK3RTV. Tonight we've got quite a few people watching. We've got, I won't read out the names, but I'll read out the call signs. 3 BVR, 3 IE, 3 BA, 3 TET, 3 TLF, 3 PI, 3 CSJ and VK3NF. Welcome guys, glad that you're watching this evening. Unfortunately, a few stations couldn't make it this evening and they've given their apologies. Mick3CH can't make it, and either can John VK3ATV, and Peter's on video this evening. We've got 16 people watching on Ian's YouTube channel, so you can watch the net through VK3RTV, which is the way we like you to do it, if at all possible. Otherwise, you can watch it on Ian VK3QL's YouTube feed or Rob VK3IE's VATC feed. So we're going to switch across to Peter, so hopefully I'll get all the buttons in the right sequence, so please stand by for Peter's report today. Just stand by. I'll see if I can work this out.
Well, good evening everyone. I'm Peter, VK3BFG. I have an online meeting I need to attend tonight, so I thought I'd just make a video for my little section. Last Saturday morning we had a hook-up with our American friends. Both Bill from Colorado and Roland from Los Angeles were able to SRT in quite successfully, and the audio was okay as well, which is very important. So it's looking good for the DATV QSO party on August 31. And of course on Saturday night we'll be hopefully running through the Q100 satellite, courtesy of Martin Charman, who's the president of the British Amateur TV Club. Anyway, more about that as time goes on. I need to talk to Martin this week. He's got the big convention, I think, over, so he'll be have a bit more time to attend to the problems of getting Q100 in and out and over to us, etc., and vice versa. During the week and today I've been working on the standby power amplifier for RTV. This time the power amplifier includes the driver as well, so if it ever goes into service it'll take up less rack space than what the existing one does. So I've got the Mitsubishi module, which is a 60 watt module actually, which is the driver, and obviously that's more than enough to drive the W6PQL PA. In fact, there's some inherent dangers there that we all know about. Okay, well let's have a quick look at what we've done to date. This is a cleaned out chassis that I got from Amateur Radio Victoria. It was in fact a transmitter, and I've just used the front panel and the sides, and of course there's a very large heatsink was forming the bottom of the transmitter, so you can see the black area there, that's all heatsink, so it's a very large heatsink. In the centre here we've got the W6 PQL PCBs, and we haven't made the connections to the connectors as yet, and we'll be putting the FET back in using the special epoxy that I've got. So that's going to work okay, and we'll put the top on that, so that'll seal that up. But then across here we've got yet to be installed a Mitsubishi module, which is the 60 watt 70 centimetre module, which is obviously going to be running quite linear, because all we require out of it is maybe 1 or 2 watts. A big bill to pay in terms of power supply current, but these days that's not too much of an issue. So the whole unit will just take a very modest drive there of a few milliwatts to get hopefully maybe 100 watts out of that port there. So work in progress, and we'll show you more as time goes on, and hopefully we'll be firing it up in the not too near future. So that's about it for me. So back to you there, Neil. This is VK3BFG in Wantirna South.
Right, thanks Peter. I think I had my mic on at the same time, which is a bit embarrassing, but anyway. I don't think it came across. Okay, Ian will be next. So if you're ready to go, Ian, if you could get ready to come up on DVB-S, and then when you're finished, if you could switch it straight across to Richard, and then Richard straight back to me. So please stand by for Ian on VK3RTV2. Take it away, Ian.
Good evening and welcome to television.
Caught out. It's when you go to mute the TV and you push the power button. Always good fun. All right, thanks Neil, and that worked really well. I thought it wasn't too long between going from the T transmission input to the S transmission. All right, yep, great to be back on the net again, and. Yes, there's currently, says he, I have no idea how many are watching. It's always the way. Go to look at it, 21 concurrent, so that's good. 20. I cribbed it. It's got 21 here. Thanks for that, Richard. Good, and I don't know, I'm a bit thrown by things a bit. So anyway, what the lead item that I wanted to start with was the latest news on VK3RGL, which for many of you will know is the new DATV repeater being built by the team led by Robert, VK3DG. So he's furnished a report. A couple of weeks ago we heard about the receivers have been working. This is a unique, to my knowledge, DATV repeater that Rob is building from scratch, and it's pure, basically software based. So it's quite a break from the traditional approach. They've purchased the power amp, and also they've access to the repeater sites and looking at antennas. That was a few weeks ago, but here is the latest and the greatest from Rob.
The VK3 RGLD ATV repeater project, located at Mount Anarchy, 60 kilometres west of Melbourne, has recently shared some exciting updates. Despite the winter season and shorter daylight hours slowing progress, significant advancements are expected in the coming summer. Domestic and work commitments have also impacted the timeline, but the team remains fully committed to completing the development of this software-based DATV repeater. The software has reached a milestone with the initial release version 1.0.1 for the receiving part of the repeater. This receiver can handle up to 8 DVB inputs, currently configured for dual PCIe cards supporting DVB-T, T2, DVB-S, S2, and ATSC. The receiver can be configured using a simple config YAML file. It auto-detects modulation and FEC for both DVB-T, T2, and DVB-S, S2 signals. It handles different video and audio types and selects the first service in the transport stream. The software runs on Raspberry Pi 4 and Pi 5, or Ubuntu Debian platforms. Plans are underway to port it to Pi Core 64 for resilience. The receiver outputs each received TS as a multicast TS stream using the RTP protocol. A multicast UDP tag assists with selecting the active TS stream. The source code is available on GitHub, inviting the ATV community to use and contribute to the project. Note the GitHub address. The receiver needs to tag the audio language, as the modulation bandwidth need to be set to 7 MHz and the DVB-S S2 symbol rate must set to 4 megasymbols per second. Detailed documentation will be provided for setup and configuration. Community testing and feedback are encouraged. Video tutorials and live demonstrations will be created to showcase the setup, configuration, and operation of the repeater. Engagement with the ATV community through social media, forums, and local ham radio clubs is encouraged. The VK3 RGL team thanks everyone for their continued support and understanding. They look forward to feedback and contributions.
Great, so I'd like to thank Rob for the report, and very exciting. The GitHub, I had a quick look at the site just earlier today, and yeah, lots of good information there, especially if you're a software developer. So I think you'll be interested in Rob's work to date. So great. And actually Rob is watching, and he's interested in talking to Elon Musk to see if he's interested in launching an Oz 100 DATV satellite. Well, there you are. That's not a bad idea. Also on YouTube we have David, VK2DJV, and Nick, VK3BA, and Chris, VK3UK, Tony, VK3AAZ, and someone else I saw, Steve, of course, NF, and Tony. Tony, great to see you up on watching us. VK7AX, he runs a transmitter up in the northern Tasmania and has lots of interesting programs transmitted. You can watch him on the ATC stream, and you can also participate, I believe, by whereby. So great to have Tony on deck this evening. All right, I might go on to the next item, which is the next module in the I've got power meter. That's not right. It's I've forgotten what the title. Power sweeper. For what I'm talking about, you wouldn't believe, is the Portsdown 4 testing functionality lecture that Dave G8GKQ gave a few weeks ago at Ham Radio 2024. And here he covers the power sweeper functionality of the Portsdown 4. So take it away, Dave.
The Ham Radio event at Friedrichshafen in Germany, held annually in June, is a renowned international trade fair focused on amateur radio. This year, one of the highlighted forums delved into digital amateur radio, DATV, showcasing various DATV systems such as Portsdown, Pluto and Node-RED. Dave G8GKQ presented on the testing capabilities of Portsdown 4 to the forum attendees. The following video is part of Dave's presentation on the Portsdown's capabilities.
I mentioned the signal generator earlier. We've just talked about power meter. Well, if you combine those two together and a bit of automation, you can make a frequency response sweeper. And that's fairly easily done like this, shown here with Lime SDR, which actually is all that's supported at the moment. I must get round to adding Pluto to this. But Lime SDR, probably through an attenuator into your device, your filter under test or device under test. Probably worth having another attenuator on the output if you can afford it, and then into your power sensor. And the sort of response you can get is this is a 700 odd meg filter I actually use in my Ham TV receive chain. And you can see there, you can see 55 dB of dynamic range. There's a bit more available, I think. And you can tweak the filter and you can look at the ripple on the top. It does have some limitations. The scan speed is quite slow, and that's primarily due to the time it takes to move the Lime SDR to each frequency. The Lime SDR will move quickly over small frequencies, but once you're doing a large frequency span, it's a little slower. You can reduce the sample rate in this, so if you're tweaking, you can have a fast. Just use 20 samples in the passband, and if you want a nice plot to put in your paperwork, you can use 500 samples. So play with it how you want. You need to be aware that it does respond to spuriae from the source, and something like a Lime SDR Mini, the third harmonic is quite high.
Great, that's part of the power of the Portsdown suite of software, so do yourself a favour and perhaps the full YouTube video is now available on BAT Online channel, and at 45 minutes in full length. There's also another video that of Noel presenting on Ham TV, which relates to the next item, which is the ISS and the passes over Melbourne, as well as a few more bits of information.
Have you tried the repeater in the sky recently? Let's have a look at the International Space Station passes for Melbourne over the next week.
VK3NQ, I think it was, so VK6 Mike Juliet. VK6 Mike Juliet. Good. Baker, the name is Rob Radio Oscar Baker, VK6MJ, VK3NQ. VK3NQ, VK...
helps if I push the right button. All right, there's been further delays to the Ham TV module being activated on the space station. BATC forum will give you more up-to-date information, and but now's the time to perhaps think about how you might receive the Ham TV transmissions. Right, the BATC, the Bendigo Hamfest, Radio Fest, I should say, is on in 12 sleeps. So it's a return, I believe, after at least a quarter of a century of this event. Lots of exotic treasures, I'm sure, have been stored over the years to be able to be brought out on Sunday the 18th of August. So 12 sleeps to go, and the Bendigo Radio Fest will be on us. Catch the tram to the gold mine. All those bargains on the table. Right. Says he just. Right, and of course the QSO party, the 12th is on Saturday the 31st of August, as mentioned by Peter. Those are the notional times. I'm sure they'll be firmed up as the running order is worked through. There's lots of back room work going on that Peter's driving, and there's lots of interest, and QO 100 is part of the whole story, and as Peter mentioned, Martin, the president of the BATC, is working towards that goal to have stations participating via on QO 100. Got that bumper twice. All right, I think I've had a fair run of it, so I might do. What'll I do? I'll pass it over to you, Richard. I'll just put up a what do you call it? A test pattern, and drop carrier. So if you'd like to come up on RTV1, those with set-top boxes might switch to RTV1. We now have a test pattern, so I'll cut the test pattern and hand over to Richard, VK3 VRS.
Thanks, Ian. It was a fairly smooth cut over. I hope everyone joined us here. Yeah, we've got 21 watching on YouTube, on your YouTube channel, 3 on Discord, and 1 on my YouTube. I haven't checked BATC. I'm not sure if Rob's running his BATC, but hello to everyone out there, including all our interstaters. Rob, good to see Rob DG. Good to see all your progress. Looking forward to being able to transmit there. I'll be interested to know if you could drop me a line about your 2 input frequencies. Which ways are they going to be facing different ways, or how are you going to set up the input frequencies? No Vox? Hey, I should have voice. Hello? Yeah, hopefully the input frequencies that you have, 1255, that's what I use to get into RTV at the moment. So being that my angle between the two repeaters is going to be probably within the beam width of my my grip pack, it's going to be very interesting to see how that goes. But anyway, we'll see. I may be able to activate both at the same time, so that could be fun. That's if I can activate it, but I'm pretty sure I should be able to activate Geelong. I've got a very clear line of sight down that path, so that'd be good. Yeah, good to see. We've got a couple more interstators as well, so VK2 and VK7. So I've noticed you've been on a few times, so that's good. I don't have a real lot tonight, so it's probably going to be a very short net tonight. I've got a video, but yeah, Ian, you might have to get ready to cancel. I'm not sure if it's going to trigger or not, so it's going to be a case of we'll just have to wait and see. But it's chopped, and it's something off YouTube, so we'll just wait and see. But it's a little bit interesting because it's history and how pictures were transmitted. Anyway, this is just a little snippet of what I some of the things that I found interesting over the years. So I'll put it on. Enjoy.
In the shortest possible time. And now, the latest miracle of news gathering, sending pictures by wire, has lifted the curtain on a new era in newspaper history. Traveling almost as fast as the telephone story, wired photos now go across the continent with the speed of light.
Long-distance supervisor, I want a clear circuit to the Daily News for picture transmission. Please keep this line clear.
Here's the Daily News. Go ahead, please.
Wide World Wired Photo.
This is Mobile Unit number 1 in the valley, ready with pictures of stunt car and airplane.
Give me your signal. Although it took years to perfect, the technique of sending pictures by wire is comparatively simple. It's not a matter of sending the whole picture at once, but of separating the picture into fine lines, sending those lines over a wire and assembling them at the other end. Let's suppose we have a picture or a pattern which we want to send to another location, and the only way to send it is through a small tube. For our purpose, we'll make this picture on closely wound string. Now, if we start at one end of the picture, taking it line by line or string by string in proper order, we can run the string through the tube and assemble it at the other end, line by line, until we again have the original pattern. That is exactly what we do in wired photo transmission. But we now take the picture apart electrically and translate it into units that we can send over a wire. The units are lines, all of the same width, but of different tones of gray. If we have a given number of lines in a given space, the tonal value of the page, the difference between dark gray and light gray, is determined by the density of the lines. If the lines vary in density, they will form a pattern. Instead of changing lines into a pattern, wired photo transmission is simply a matter of breaking up the pattern or picture into lines. This process is called scanning. A light is focused on the picture, and as the drum revolves, this light scans the picture from top to bottom on this line. At the same time, the drum is moving slowly along in front of the light so that every part of the picture is scanned. If we stop the drum and look inside the case, then remove the condensing and amplifying apparatus, leaving only the optical system, we see that as this light strikes each part of the picture, it is reflected back through a lens and an aperture. The aperture allows only 1/100th of an inch of the picture to pass through at a time, so that the picture is scanned in fine lines. The light that gets through the aperture goes into the photoelectric cell. This cell contains a plate made of a metal that has and wound it up again on the negative.
For live news on the planets, cosmology, sunspots and more, every Friday at 10 p.m. Clint VK3 CSJ presents the Astronomical Society of Victoria broadcast on this amateur television repeater, VK3 RTV Channel 1.
Alrighty. Anyway, it was interesting, but I had to stop it. So anyway, the other thing that I did over the weekend on Saturday, actually stopped into Alltronics and just had a bit of a look around, like you do. We're all into electronics, so had some time. So I thought, wonder what they've got. Anyway, just happened to look at connectors because I'm always looking at SMA connectors, and found this one, SMA to F, and I went, that might be handy one day. So I thought I'd go and pick a few of them up, and I kept looking around, and I grabbed this one, and this one's obviously an N to F type. So being ATVers, both of those could come in handy. So I bought a few of those as well. There was a couple of other knickknacks that I bought while I was there as well, but boring stuff. I thought they were a bit more interesting. So yeah, so if in J-car, you might find those, and you might have you never know when you might need them. So, and I've always got the saying that if you see something that you think you might need, the time to buy it is when you see it, because you guarantee the next time that you go looking for it, it ain't there. So it applies when you go to a hamfest as well. If you're interested in something at the hamfest and you see it and you go, oh, I wouldn't mind that, that's the time to buy it. Don't wait, because somebody else will be thinking exactly the same thing. So yeah, talking about our the Radio Fest coming up, so I'm looking forward to that. Now, I don't have anything else, so Neil, I'm assuming I hand it back to you because I haven't heard Clint come on. If you're there, Clint, do you want to just come up on the repeater and I'll hand it over to you if you've got some content? Because we were talking earlier. Was that yes, Clint?
I'm just watching.
Okay. Alright, Clint's just watching. So anyway, I will, I can see Neil's back on RTV1. So I will obviously go back to RTV1 myself and watch it and enjoy the rest of the show. Thanks, guys.
Right, thanks a lot for that, Richard. That was quite interesting. Actually, I downloaded a photo of a very, very old camera, and I was going to claim that it was a new camera I bought, but I lost it somewhere in the computer, so I'll find it for next week. It's been rather a short net, unfortunately, this week. A few people couldn't make it, so hopefully next week there'll be a few more stations, but I hope you enjoyed it. Please join us again next week. We have 22 watching on YouTube, so that's fantastic. I'm not sure who's watching on Richard's Discord channel, or Rob VK3IE's BATC feed, which is running this evening. So once again, thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you all next week, and hopefully there'll be a few more stations on. One thing that I have been during the week, doing during the week is just playing with WS JTX, just the data program. Not that I'm that interested in the data programmers, but I've got all the gear, so I thought I'd download the program, and I got it working on FT8. So I might put it on a whisper for when the band opens on 6 metres. So that's really all I've been doing. So cheers, guys. We'll see you all next week. Cheers.